Hello everyone, welcome back to AB-Aquariums. In today's video I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that we should just leave our aquariums alone, which is probably a little bit against what most people will recommend. They probably recommend you do lots of maintenance and change things in the tank and keep an eye on things, which is obviously fair enough, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm suggesting that maybe we should just keep our hands out the tank, and I think we should just leave it alone. Apart from feeding it, of course, but you know, I think if we leave our tanks alone and let nature do its job, I think it can only go in a positive direction. I mean, I'll give this small tank as an example. This is only 20 litres or 5 US gallons, and about, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago now, I put some bristlenose pleco eggs in there, and the idea was just to hope that the snails and the shrimp are going to clean off all the eggs and basically stop them fungusing up. And I kind of just thought, you know, that would be kind of like a natural way of doing it, rather than, basically what it was, the bristlenose kicked the eggs out of the cave and they weren't going to get looked after by the parents. So I just thought, let's just let the shrimp and the snails see if they can keep them clean and basically let the eggs hatch naturally, and hopefully they'll just grow out. And it's turned out pretty well. You know, keeping an eye on the tank over the next passing days, and before you know it, the eggs have hatched, and there's now, it's got to be at least 10 bristlenose pleco fry in there. They're all albinos, however you say it. And I also put some eggs in there from Corydoras. I had some stir-by Corydora eggs on the glass on my Corydoras tank, and they seem to be sort of, well, they were getting fed bloodworms at the time, and they were basically just getting fat and putting loads of eggs on the glass, and the females were just putting eggs in the glass left, right and centre. So I thought, I'll just, rather than them getting eaten by the fish in the tank, I'll move them into this tank and see if they'll hatch out. And pretty much the same has happened. I mean, there's one of the babies there. This is one of the earlier eggs that seems to have hatched first, and there's a baby stir-by there, but you might see the odd other little baby now and then. There's so many snails in here, it's unbelievable. But my point is that we can just let nature do its thing, and we don't even have to intervene. I mean, all I've got is a sponge filter in here. I didn't have the eggs tumbling, I didn't have the eggs by the air. I literally just allowed the snails and the shrimp to clean them off. You know, the wisdom would think maybe that they would eat the eggs, but in this case they haven't. But this is just an example just to say that we can leave our tanks alone and let nature do its thing. I've let the plants grow in this tank. This is quite a new tank. This isn't very old. I put some Indian almond leaves in there. They're breaking down. They're making good food for the plecos and the shrimp. And the snails are, I mean, I do feed some fry food in here, and that's all I really do. I mean, I haven't done anything else. I haven't even cleaned the sponge filters. But all I'm saying is, if we leave a tank alone, essentially just forget about it for a bit while it's bedding in and cycling and establishing into a little ecosystem, before you know it, and the novelty's worn out and you've forgotten about it for a bit, you'll come back to it. I mean, apart from feeding it every other day or something like that is all I've really been doing. You'll come back to it and you'll look at it and you'll think, crikey, those fry, or you know, the shrimp have multiplied. Which again, in here there's loads of little baby shrimp in here. They're so tiny you can barely see them. Loads of snails because I feed fairly heavy. And apart from, you know, a water change once a week, that's all I do. That's all I've been doing, is a water change once a week, and I've not done anything else apart from feeding every other day. I've not messed around with anything. I've not trimmed any plants. I've not pulled any snails out. I've not checked. I've really checked on the baby bristlenose. They're just doing really well. They've grown a lot. I mean, these little bristlenose fry are only a week or two old, and they're already, there's no sign of a yolk sac. They're already doubled in size, maybe tripled in size from when they first hatched. That baby stir-by there, that is nearly on its way to being a juvenile. It's grown that much from being in the past few weeks. So yeah, the fry food in here is going down really well for all the inhabitants. I've not done anything with the tank. I'm just letting it grow in. I'm letting the snails go wild. I'm letting them do their thing, because I wanted some more ram's horn snails, and that's what I've got in here. So I've been feeding it fairly heavy to try and get the snails to breed, because I quite like them snails that I can move into other tanks. And yeah, letting the plants grow in, letting everything just, you know, establish a nice ecosystem. Letting the Indian almond leaves break down, letting that turn into good food for all the inhabitants. And yeah, what I'm trying to say is that we don't need to mess with the tanks. We can just step back, let nature do its thing. Don't keep changing things, and before you know it, the tank will be well established to the point where it's pretty much bulletproof. And you know, you can't really mess it up. So yeah, this is just a little message to you, just to say, you know, just leave your tanks alone. I know it's tempting to keep messing around with them, but essentially we can stand back, just watch from afar, observe every now and then, just, you know, see how things are getting on. But, you know, apart from just feeding and doing the odd water change, we can let our tanks just turn into a little ecosystem and a little piece of nature in a glass box, basically. So yeah, I'll leave that one with you. So, you know, let me know in the comments what you feel about this and how your opinions. I know it's a bit of a random one, but I just wanted to go into the fact that if we don't mess with our tanks, it actually can pay off quite well. Less input from us can be a bit of a benefit for the inhabitants. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll look forward to hearing your response to, you know, what I've been saying here today. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care.